Good morning, I'm Jill Brown in the CNN Weather Center, and here's how the weather's looking across the country this Christmas morning. We have chilly conditions in Florida, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for a couple of days. We're going to be hard-pressed to find any 70s anywhere in the state of Florida. Even Miami only forecast to get to about 68 today. So close, but not quite there. Snow advisories are in effect, and we may see as much as a foot of new snow in parts of New Mexico. Fog in the northwest, there's a quarter of a mile visibility in Seattle, and the same in Boise. So wait a little while, and then we'll have the sunny afternoon. And the most significant snow probably where a lot of people live is here in the northeast. Let's take a look. It's lake effect snow again today. And although it's looking more impressive coming off Lake Erie here, we still haven't seen anything reported in Buffalo. It is snowing in Jamestown, snowing very lightly in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Youngstown, Ohio, and nothing anymore, I think, at Cleveland Airport. Most of it should be to the east. But these are the spots that we'll see anything from flurries to 2 inches of snow today. There are your snow advisories, New Mexico into western Texas. And there's more snow on the way, along with some cold weather. Winds will start picking up this afternoon across the northern Great Lakes, and expect this front to slip through. Highs tomorrow will be in the teens, maybe single digits in some locations. It'll be windy and snowy, and that cold air will work its way into the northeast by Monday, while most of the rest of the country quiet today and quiet through the remainder of the weekend. Stay tuned. Your top stories are next.
Beginning in 6 days, 100 hours of non-stop around-the-world coverage. Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
Men, do you want to see your abs and increase muscle definition? Women, how would you like a toned body with cellulite-free hips and thighs? Turn these visions into reality with the best-selling video, Fitness Made Simple, hosted by fitness celebrity John Bastow.
In 8 weeks, I totally transformed my body from this to this. Fitness Made Simple worked for me, and it can work for you too.
Order Fitness Made Simple by calling toll-free and be on the way to building the body of your dreams.
There's no thrill like discovery. The Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Sponsored in your community by West Coast Bank.
Next time you're thinking of buying a new or used car on the internet, click this. AutomallUSA.com.
Now, get breaking news, no matter where it happens. See the interviews that'll make today's headlines. Preview the markets and get a jump on the business day. Catch the scores and the must-see highlights. Check the forecast. Weather clear across America. Early edition. First with the news you've been looking for. Weekdays, 7 Eastern on CNN.
Sponsored by Standard TV and Appliance.
Edition with Carol Lynn and Leon Harris. Weekdays on CNN.
Good morning and Merry Christmas. I'm Kira Phillips at CNN Center in Atlanta. Here are some of the stories we're following this hour. There is still no word to who is responsible for hijacking an Indian Airlines jet. The plane landed 13 hours ago in southern Afghanistan. The hijackers want asylum and have asked to meet with the ruling Taliban party. They seized the plane yesterday on a flight from Nepal to New Delhi. At a refueling stop in Dubai, the hijackers freed 26 hostages and the body of a slain passenger, a 25-year-old man on his honeymoon. Pope John Paul's Christmas message is a call for peace. The pontiff spoke today to thousands of people gathered in St. Peter's Square. He called for an end to violence and asked people to respect each other despite differences in race or faith. At midnight mass in Bethlehem, the sermon was a plea for peace between Israelis and Palestinians. The mood in Bethlehem is relaxed, though most events are taking place under very tight security. That's our news for now. CNN Saturday Morning continues with Travel Now. Have a great holiday.
Join us as we take a special holiday trip around the world. We begin our journey in some of the world's tropical locales, from walking the beautiful beaches of the Turks and Caicos to whale watching off the coast of Maui and exploring the charms of the Bahamas' Out Islands. We'll also travel now to exotic destinations like the shores of South Africa and the rainforests of Costa Rica. Plus, we'll stroll through ancient Tuscan towns, taste culinary traditions from around the world, and profile some out-of-the-ordinary places to stay. Happy holidays! Welcome to CNN Travel Now and the inn at Blackberry Farm just outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains and decorated joyfully to celebrate the season. We'll show you more of this beautiful property as our program continues. Hello, I'm Carolyn O'Neill, and on today's show, we've gathered together a very special selection of great places to visit as a gift to you. And since it's so cold here, and maybe where you are today, our first flight of trips takes us where the palm trees sway and the tropical sun shines. The lure of whale watching off Maui's coast draws crowds of visitors to the harbor in Lahaina, especially during the months of January, February, and March. Prime time for spotting the endangered humpback whale. Less than 15 minutes out, we start to see them. A microphone lowered into the water allows us to hear them sing. And we learn that most groups, or pods as they're called, include a mother, a new calf, and a male escort whale.
Escort whale. Oh, there's, okay, 2 adults. This is likely the escort whale. When we see whales, something about them innately draws us to them.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
I got tears in my eyes. It was so wonderful. Those were such beautiful animals. It was just great.
Is as close as most of us will come to seeing what an astronaut feels like. Divers call this inner space.
That was awesome. We saw all kinds of fish and gorgeous coral, and those angelfish were just beautiful.
Scenes such as this certainly whet my appetite for more visions from the underwater world.
Crowds are smaller, and the pace is slower on the Out Islands.
When you come down here, it takes about 5 minutes to get into different speed of life. Everything slows down, and it's just very, very relaxing.
Take a ferry to Harbor Island, one of the oldest settlements in the Bahamas and one of the most picturesque. The colorful houses along Bay Street are reminiscent of a New England town. The island is only 110 miles long and 1 mile wide, so it's easy to tour it in a day. And there are many signs of the relaxed pace.
Back to chilly December now in Tennessee, where the inn at Blackberry Farm offers 1,100 beautiful acres to explore and 10 miles of hiking trails, a great way to build up an appetite for dinner tonight. Coming up next, the appeal of delicious meals for travelers choosing destinations today. And later, traveling the world in search of great vintages.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
A few cold ones, a big Mr. Fix-It's got to start showing off.
Yeah, he'll woo the women with his grouting expertise.
Staying in control doesn't mean staying away from fun. Coors NA is ice-cold Rocky Mountain refreshment without all the alcohol. Serve great tasting Coors NA so guests can get home safely. It's perfect for designated drivers and limbo dancers.
Hey, Bob, how about some pointers?
There are some things even Bob Vila can't fix.
Oh, I gotta spell it out for you?
It's HB.
Oh, boy, you.
Feel better? It's so far from TV, it's HB.
All right, yeah.
Learn it, live it, love it. It is what it is.
Well, what is it then?
Don't make me state the obvious.
Bad, filthy American fun. It's HB.
Oh my God. I think that's great.
I'm Mark John Jeffries for People PC. Many people wonder how good a computer People PC can possibly offer for just $24.95 a month, along with unlimited internet access, in-home service, and great deals. Is a People PC computer a no-name piece of free-world junk? No, my friend, it's not. It's the brand you know with all the power you need to send emails, manage your finances, and play important new video games. I hope this clears up any ambiguity.
No matter where you travel, it's great to know that there's a delicious meal at the end of the trail, especially if it's a unique experience. Here at the inn at Blackberry Farm, many of the dishes feature the bounty of this region. This fish is wrapped in Tennessee country ham and served on top of vegetables fresh from the chef's garden. And as we've tasted on many of our trips this year, wonderful food is a reason to travel.
Whether you're craving dinner at Le Cirque, the kind of place where movie stars mix with millionaires, or you'd rather relax and have lunch in the garden at Verbena. Or maybe you want to dine and meet some new friends at a trendy communal table like this one at Asia de Cuba. New York really dishes it up.
Well, it's the greatest place to eat in the world, without a doubt, right now. And it has the most variety, and that's one of the reasons it's great.
You can go to a restaurant in New York and spend $50, or you can go to a restaurant and spend $1,000, and you can, in both experiences, have wonderful food.
Why are New York restaurants so good?
This is a very competitive city. This, you know, it's the cliche. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
In New York, there are so many choices that to really make it, you've got to have the buzz, and you have to have people coming into your restaurant and leaving saying, I got to go back. You have to go.
A lesson in dining begins with the fin. Few people on Earth revere the ocean and its bounty more than the Japanese. In fact, each year, the average Japanese eats 6 times as much seafood as the average American.
To the Japanese, the presentation of food is as important as the food itself. Dishes are pleasing to the palate as well as the eye, and no food represents that more than kaiseki.
Kaiseki is a feast. It's individual little dishes, and you can spend well over $100, $150 on a kaiseki meal, but it's fantastic.
Kaiseki is an art form, and our artist, Chef Kenichiro Oe of the restaurant Kozue, demonstrated his craft on this gruesome-looking fish.
A koza is not something you would eat at home or prepare at home, but something that you would have when you go out.
Take a break from the snow in Vail, Colorado, or just about any ski resort today, and you'll find that many lunch spots, especially those on the slopes, may still serve cafeteria style, but skiers are demanding food with quality as high as the altitude and service as fast as the action outside.
People are in a rush. They want their food within 2 minutes, so it's got to be fast.
And dining choices in ski country certainly do run the gamut. Of course, folks come here for the great hearty food, but this rustic dining room fills up because of the fun before dinner. A horse-drawn sleigh ride, literally over the river and through the woods, gives guests an old-fashioned thrill and chill at the Rocking R Ranch near Park City, Utah. So is everybody working up an appetite already? Yeah. Then, in the distance, dinner. Racing past the thermometer reading 17 degrees.
it's time to warm up and dig into big plates of baked beans, vegetables, mashed potatoes, gravy, and pot roast.
It's a home-style menu, you know, so it goes with the whole winter being cold, and, you know, you come in, you get a hot meal.
And as the crowd warms up, the Prairie Crooner Band kicks in with songs celebrating life in the Great American West.
The wine that accompanies a meal inspires travel, too. And this year, we toured the wine country on 3 different continents.
The spirit of Sonoma lives in the land. Historically, sheep farms and dairies, and now the cultivation of wine.
I think it's a little more casual. It's, you know, the difference between linen and denim, you know.
Sonoma's nice because you can get out and go see the wineries, and you just don't run into as many people, and it's a little more enjoyable in that respect.
We still do occasionally have people ask us what part of Napa Sonoma's in.
So Sonoma, with its wine-growing history reaching back to 1823, when the Spanish missionaries first planted vines, continues to attract those who appreciate wine and a relaxed California lifestyle.
Mild weather and moderate amounts of rain make a perfect climate for the sprawling, lush vineyards of South Africa.
Winemaking in this country is more than 300 years old. The Dutch introduced it to this part of Africa in the mid-1600s. Today, South African wines can be found all over the world.
At Nederburg, winemaking has gone high-tech. Black workers, who are also becoming owners, run bustling assembly lines that bottle and box Nederburg's red, white, and sparkling wines.
I think we're very happy with the status of our wines worldwide, because in the dark days when there were sanctions against us, we couldn't export a great deal of our wine. But since our country has opened up, so have markets opened up for us.
South African wines are now competing with well-known wines from around the world.
Whether it's a landscape rolling with vineyards or lunch enjoyed with bottles shared, wine is an integral part of life in Tuscany. And for the Antinori family, the tradition of winemaking dates back 600 years, spanning 26 generations.
I think that good food and good wine is really, an important part of life, which should be, it's a part of our heritage, part of our culture. It's part of the Mediterranean culture.
Interest in Tuscan wine has not only increased demand for the product, it's spawning a new phenomenon, wine tourism in Chianti.
We are not organized right now like in California, for instance, where you can go and have a tour anytime. We normally do it by appointment.
And even though the grapes grown today may often be the same, if there's any doubt that a trip to wineries in Italy could be different from California's Napa Valley, let's say, just check the date on the wine cellar.
While many Italian wines are well distributed to world markets, collectors savor trips to Tuscany to sample vintages they cannot find at home.
It's fun because there are so many tiny wineries in Chianti that the wines never leave Italy, so you have to come here to experience them.
So wines with a long history of pleasing palates in Italy are expanding their realm to include even more wine lovers worldwide. Next on CNN Travel Now, we fly like Tarzan through the jungle, act like explorers on the Cape of Good Hope, and experience the Italy of a famous American writer.
GeoQuiz is brought to you by AAA and their travel partner, Holland America Line.
When planning your next vacation, call the expert, your AAA travel agent, for an uncompromising escape with Holland America West Tours, AAA's choice for Alaska cruise and tour packages, where right now Alaska vacations start at this great low price. AAA also offers members exclusive extras on Holland America West Tours cruises and tours. For details, call 1-800-374-1106.
Travel with someone
AAA Travel Services.
Come on! Yeah. Gotta do it. Go back to the island, boy. Let's go.
The islands of the Bahamas. Which one will ignite your soul?
Call American Express Travel at 1-888-AXP-0082.
Ever since man learned to communicate, there's been the need to learn how to cut to the chase. USA Today. Not the most words, just the right ones.
100 hours of Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
Welcome back to CNN Travel Now and the inn at Blackberry Farm just outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. This is the boathouse where guests can come and do a little trout fishing. And chances are you will catch one because this pond is stocked with plenty of rainbow trout. You know, just like any travelers recounting their adventures, we've had some trips this year that were special for a number of reasons. For me, it was a journey to Tuscany to see the beauty described by author Frances Mays in her best-selling book, Under the Tuscan Sun.
Mays preaches through her prose that the relaxed pace of life in Italy, walking the narrow streets, sipping cappuccinos in the square, eating pizza on stone steps hundreds of years old, and just taking the time to admire the particular pink of a flower or the sound of a park fountain is what appreciating Italy is all about.
And then they get to Italy and they realize these people are getting a lot done and they're having more fun than we are. What's going on here?
To really get a feel for the area's history, you need to head south of the city. A scenic day trip away from Cape Town is a drive along the Cape of Good Hope. Hout Bay is one of the picturesque towns you'll see along the way. Fishing is a major industry here. Over the years, tourism has become crucial to the economy as well. Hout Bay is one of several towns dotting the way around the Cape. Every curve in the road reveals another impressive vista. No wonder this is one of the most popular drives in South Africa.
Everybody told me about the Cape, and now I come to see it for myself, and it's a great place.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, up!
I think. Oh my God. I survived!
We flew from platform to platform, 3 chances to soar across the canopy.
So right now we're about 5 meters off the ground. When we get to the next platform, we're going to be about 23 meters off the ground.
Knowing how and when to brake is challenging, but after a few tries, I had this jungle action figured out.
All it really takes is $45, some common sense, and a lot of courage.
There you go.
For some travelers, getting away from it all means finding a quiet place to read or just relax. And here at the inn at Blackberry Farm, there are plenty of cozy corners to do just that.
Stay with us. Coming up next, we visit some of our favorite places to stay and some of the more unusual accommodations we've profiled this year.
When planning your next vacation, call the expert, your AAA travel agent, for an uncompromising escape with Holland America West Tours, AAA's choice for Alaska cruise and tour packages, where right now Alaska vacations start at this great low price. AAA also offers members exclusive extras on Holland America West Tours cruises and tours. For details, call 1-800-374-1106.
Travel with someone you trust.
AAA Travel Services.
Critics are calling Anna and the King a spectacular epic. One magnificent journey, both romantic and thrilling. It's one of the best films of the decade. Anna and the King, rated PG-13. Now playing.
Statistics show when you take Motrin IB the minute you feel muscle pain, the foothills seem 15% less hilly, and your husband is 48% sweeter. Motrin IB, life is too good to feel bad.
Mark John Jeffries here for People PC. Many people wonder how good a computer People PC can possibly offer for just $24.95 a month, along with unlimited internet access, in-home service, and great deals. Is a People PC computer a no-name piece of free-war junk? No, my friend, it's not. It's a brand you know with all the power you need to send emails, manage your finances, and play important new video games. How can People PC offer such a fine machine, unlimited internet access, in-home service, and great deals, all for just $24.95 per month? To find out, visit peoplepc.com or call 1-800-PEOPLE-PC. I hope this clears up any ambiguity. Thank you, and God bless.
You can get an Epson Stylus Color 660 printer for the incredibly low price of just $99 if you join People PC today. Just visit peoplepc.com.
All decked out in gracious style for the holidays, the Inn at Blackberry Farm displays the finest in elegance and comfort. It's a year-round philosophy here. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. If you'd like to learn more about Blackberry Farm or some of the other destinations on today's show, you can visit our website at cnn.com/travelnow. You know, this is just one of the unique places that we had a chance to visit this year, and whether you prefer a wilderness experience or an urban edge, there's a diverse range of accommodations to check into today. With a look as sleek and cool as the Los Angeles social scene, the Hotel Mondrian is a mecca for those hunting what's hip today.
Well, it's just a fresh approach to staying in a hotel, and we're about transforming the hotel experience into something that's very fun and exciting.
And hope you like the color white. The well-appointed rooms are decidedly minimalist with contemporary design in every detail. If modern art is your cup of organic herbal tea, the Mondrian is the place to be. But for those craving a more opulent style, there's no shortage of old-world elegance in this town. Welcome to the historic and very pink Beverly Hills Hotel. Built in 1912 and renovated recently to accommodate modern times, it's been at the center of celebrity life for decades. And any list of top-notch lodging in LA has to include the secluded Hotel Bel Air, often described as an oasis in a city famous for its frustrating freeways and fast-paced life. The Hotel Bel Air welcomes guests with graceful swans and artful fountains signaling a sense of calm.
In the midst of this snowy landscape, two Mongolian-style yurts, one to dine in, the other for nighttime shelter.
It's real luxury for people who don't really want to spend the night in a snow cave, want to get out into the backcountry and see that nice sunrise in the morning.
Well, they are inspired by the Mongolian yurts, which were, you know, the teepees of the high steppes of Asia. The Mongols were a nomad people, and they learned how to stay warm in a very cold, aggressive environment.
But adventurous souls turning in for a night in these yurts don't have to endure much hardship.
They've been nicknamed the Gucci tents because, you know, they do have duvets and some pretty nice stuff that you would expect in a hotel, but not necessarily up at 8,000 feet. You know, it's unbelievable how the mountains, outdoor activity, and really good food bring people together.
Okay, nice meeting you. See you guys.
Nice meeting you.
Welcome to the Hotel Jerome, once a gathering place for Aspen's silver miners, trappers, and genteel society alike. It's been painstakingly renovated to the glory of its Victorian roots, but not without incident.
The designers and architects literally had to chain the front doors because people were coming in, taking a light fixture, pulling up a piece of tile.
The beloved Jerome embraces its heritage of Old West luxury with spacious rooms reminiscent of eras gone by, but also makes use of modern amenities when it comes to deep tubs for that après-ski or post-hiking soak. Another Aspen hotel to note, the Little Nell. Tucked in at the base of Aspen Mountain, this resort, opened in 1989, gets its name from a woman named Little Nell who ran mining-era shanties on this site. Now, the guests of this five-star, five-diamond resort have higher expectations.
They come back because of the feeling of relaxation and comfort that we impart.
Influenced by the style of European hotels, no two rooms at the Little Nell are alike, with soft tones, luxurious fabrics, and private views of Aspen Mountain.
We hope that you enjoyed today's special show and have a wonderful holiday season. And as we launch into a new year and a new millennium, we invite you to join us in the year 2000 as we continue to discover great destinations worth the trip. I'm Carolyn O'Neill. That's CNN Travel Now. In the new year, it's off to Asia with a tour of Tokyo's urban excitement and the serenity of Japan's sacred sites and lovely gardens. Also in early 2000, we journey down under to explore the rugged beauty of Australia's outback and discover big city adventure climbing the Harbour Bridge high above Sydney. Then it's into the wilds of Papua New Guinea, attracting travelers in search of ancient cultures alive today. Those destinations and more in a new year of CNN Travel Now.
Sunday on CNN Perspectives. They are the moments that will define our century. Flashes of time that will forever haunt us and give us hope. Now, hear the stories behind these famous shots, moments before the shutter clicked.
You daydream about making a picture that has the impact that those pictures had.
Moment of impact. Stories of the Pulitzer Prize photographs on CNN Perspectives. Sunday, 10 Eastern on CNN. It's a moment of anticipation, a moment of vision, a moment of hope. It's the dawn of a new millennium, and CNN will be there, live.
And the future is now.
Coming up next on CNN.com.
No matter what happens Friday night, one thing you can be sure of is that the computer industry will be pretty well protected from any massive or frivolous lawsuits resulting from a Y2K snafu. Protected because of U.S. House Bill 775, which became law this past summer.
All that and more on CNN.com.
Sunday on CNN's Late Edition, a look back on 1999 with Henry Kissinger, Mike McCurry, and Marlon Fitzwater. Sunday, noon Eastern on CNN.
Critics are calling AutomallUSA.com magnificent, a must-see website, 4 stars. Just point, click, and drive. Save time, save money, avoid the hassle. Buy or sell, new or used, any make, any model. AutomallUSA.com.
Now, get breaking news. No matter where it happens, see the interviews that'll make today's headlines, preview the markets, and get a jump on the business day. Catch the scores and the must-see highlights. Check the forecast. Weather clear across America. Early edition. First with the news you've been looking for. Weekdays, 7 Eastern on CNN.
Sponsored by Standard TV and Appliance.
100 hours of Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
Checking our top stories on CNN Saturday. Heavily armed hijackers remain in control of an Indian Airlines jet they seized yesterday. They're reportedly demanding that India release several prisoners, including a Pakistani Islamic leader and some Kashmiri guerrilla fighters. The plane, with about 150 captives on board, landed in Kandahar, Afghanistan this morning after hopscotching across South Asia and the Middle East. The body of a passenger stabbed to death was released yesterday in the United Arab Emirates, along with more than 24 hostages. Christian pilgrims from around the world today gathered in Bethlehem in the West Bank to celebrate the birth of Christ. They were there despite warnings of possible terrorist attacks. With a bit of help, astronauts aboard the shuttle Discovery sent back Christmas greetings from orbit today. The crew is to relaunch the overhauled Hubble Space Telescope later today. The shuttle is due back on Earth on Monday. I'm Gene Randall in Washington. More news at the top of the hour. CNN.com is next.
Today on CNN.com.
Just days before Y2K, while you can stock up, cash out, and hold your breath, when it comes to suing over a really big glitch, there's not very much you can do. The reason? A new law muscled through by the powerful high-tech lobby.
So far, the track record of Silicon Valley and Washington has been extraordinary. They've basically gotten whatever they wanted.
That big box under the tree is the new computer you've been waiting for. But you're still waiting to log on because of two dreaded words: assembly required. This may take a few minutes. Some help to get your PC up, running, and souped up for the fast track. And if a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, then this website is extremely hazardous.
That's it, man. Game over, man.
A website that tests your trivial knowledge.
It's the big meaningful questions of life, like what's on the other side of your navel?
Why do Mexican jumping beans jump?
All that and more on CNN.com.
This is CNN.com with Perry Peltz and James Hattori.
I'm Perry Peltz. Welcome to CNN.com. Software and soft money. As the web meets Washington, more and more cyber cash is flowing into the halls of power. The high-tech industry spent more than $38 million on lobbying last year. That's second only to the insurance and energy industries, both highly regulated groups. One of the biggest bills pushed through by the growing high-tech lobby will hit home next week, and it's aimed at your wallet. To tell us more, let's go to my colleague, James Hattori.
The big question on a lot of people's minds this coming week: will computers around the world, some 170 million of them, crash when the clock strikes 12, just like in this TV commercial? Or will they just keep running into the year 2000?
Millennium-proof dependability.
No matter what happens Friday night, one thing you can be sure of is that the computer industry will be pretty well protected from any massive or frivolous lawsuits resulting from a Y2K snafu. Protected because of U.S. House Bill 775, which became law this past summer. When Senate leaders signed the bill in July, there was applause all around. Among those pleased by the passage of the so-called Y2K bill was lobbyist Dan Burton of Novell, the fifth largest software manufacturer in the world. Novell was one of the few high-tech companies to visibly push the Y2K bill through the halls of power.
Novell took the position that this issue was not going to go away. By ducking, we could not avoid it and pretend it didn't exist. We decided, in addition to working the technology and trying to make sure we had good technical fixes on our products, to work the political process and make sure that people really understood what industry was trying to do and the kinds of discussions that were necessary to come to a constructive solution.
As a result, the Y2K bill was born. The new law encourages computer firms to fix their problems, and while it doesn't restrict all types of litigation, it does limit punitive damages and restrict some class action lawsuits over Millennium Bug disasters.
There was concern that there would be a tidal wave of litigation against companies that made any sort of networking or software computing products, and that litigation would not be based on actual problems. It would be based on Y2K hysteria.
The new legislation has only a 3-year shelf life, yet it's evidence of the relatively new power and influence of the high-tech industry in Washington. In 1997, technology companies spent just $25 million on lobbying efforts. Last year, that number increased by more than 50% to $39 million. That's the fastest growth rate of any big business lobby in the U.S., second only to tobacco.
This is not like a normal computer lab. You've got some extra equipment here.
One of the industry's biggest advocates is Representative Bob Goodlatte of Virginia. He helped champion the Y2K bill through Congress.
I think there's a lot of public support for working to make sure that our economy continues to look favorably upon all new kinds of technological development so that free enterprise is allowed to blossom and grow. And today, high tech is where free enterprise is and why our economy is doing so very, very well.
Protecting the technology trade and helping it grow is important to Goodlatte, whose Southern Virginia district is home to a few computer companies.
How are you doing? You live here in town?
Yes, sir.
Great, I work for you.
And a special middle school focusing on aerospace.
And we fly upside down and backwards around here.
For the whole trip?
Because there really is no up and down in space, because there is no gravity.
They not only create millions of jobs in this country, but they also are the engine driving the rest of our economy. They are a major part of our economy. I'm not sure I would say that they're simply a special interest group. Goodbye.
I think this special interest wants the same thing any special interest is, as little regulation and interference from government as possible.
Chuck Lewis of the Center for Public Integrity studies how money influences the political process. He's seen an increase in legislation passed that's designed to help computer companies.
Anytime there's an issue that will affect them in any way and potentially hurt their pocketbook financially as a company, they've got to stomp it out and make sure it doesn't happen. And welcome to Washington.
The Y2K law limiting liability is one example. Others include delaying internet taxation, an expansion of the immigrant visa program for highly skilled workers, and an extension of the research and development tax credit.
So far, the track record of Silicon Valley and Washington has been extraordinary. They've basically gotten whatever they wanted.
Larry Makinson also tracks the role of money in Washington, D.C.
And this is the computer money that's gone to presidential candidates so far this year.
He has seen few groups embraced by politicians so quickly.
The industry would be gaining in power in Washington by no other reason than simply because they're becoming more important in the national economy. But when you add to that the potential for lots of campaign contributions, a strong presence of lobbyists in the halls of the Capitol, you really have an industry that's growing quickly in the power that it holds in Washington, D.C.
It's a rapid turn of events for an industry that used to avoid the hot lights of Capitol Hill. High-tech firms now realize they have to play the political game, that money is power, and you have to spread some of it around to help ensure success.
The old way of thinking they could be operating in their world and ignore Washington, I don't think is believed by too many people anymore. It's pretty obvious Washington's got a say in this, and so Silicon Valley's going to have a say in trying to influence Washington.
When Congress recently wrapped up its 106th session, the internet lobby scored big. Nearly every bill on the high-tech wish list, at least a dozen key measures, got a congressional rubber stamp. Back in a moment.
Still ahead, music for the millennium. Would you believe an audio player that looks a lot like your pen? Internet-ready gadgets. It will make your CD player a thing of the past. And fun facts you don't need to know, but they are still pretty cool.
3 of our 4 earliest presidents actually died on July 4th.
A website that could put you in the hot seat on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We'll take you there when CNN.com continues. CNN.com is brought to you by Sun Microsystems. We're the dot in .com.
From the way companies process information to the way they share information. From the way they create ideas to the way they sell ideas. Secure old customers. Attract new customers. Use devices to extend their business. Leap ahead of someone else's business. At Sun, our technologies power the net for business. We're the dot in .com. What can we .com for you?
ZDNet will help you get more out of technology. ZDNet.com, where technology takes you.
Nice.
Now back to CNN.com. Here's Perry Peltz.
When it comes to downloading your favorite tunes off the internet, you may have heard that you can do it with MP3. But MP3 isn't the only way to play in Y2K. In this week's Technophile, Rick Lockridge shows you the latest gadgets to hear music in the new millennium.
Shakespeare once wrote, "If music be the food of love, play on." Well, as we approach the millennium, there's an armload of new internet-ready gadgets on the market that'll let you play on and on. The Rio 500, the latest from market leader Diamond Multimedia, holds 2 hours of near CD-quality MP3 music files, 3 hours if you buy an extra flash memory card. The Rio 500 starts at $250. The similarly priced Nomad 64 by Creative holds only about an hour's worth of MP3s unless you want to add a flash card for another hour. But you might want to wait till next month when Creative releases the Nomad 2. That'll include an FM tuner, and it'll have the ability to play not only MP3s, but competing formats as well. Also coming in January is the Sony Music Clip. This $300 player is about the size of a magic marker. It'll store 2 hours of downloaded music, also in multiple formats. Bear in mind that while MP3 is still the most popular standard for downloadable music, competing standards like Liquid Audio and Microsoft Media, with their built-in piracy protection, are ready to give MP3 a run for its money. Meanwhile, downloadable music may finally give Sony's mini-disc format the kind of popularity here it enjoys in the rest of the world. This hybrid device, the MD MT15 by Sharp, records music from your stereo and accepts music files from the net. The re-recordable mini-disc can store more than 100 tunes at a cost of only $4 a disc. That's a bargain compared to the flash memory cards we mentioned earlier, which cost $80 each or more. And if you can put 100 songs on one 3-inch disc, that's a road trip. But, you ask, since there is a standards war underway, what's to prevent today's internet music players from becoming tomorrow's 8-tracks? Well, the answer is manufacturers are designing these new players to be upgradable, so we won't get stuck, as we did a generation ago, in Steely Dan purgatory. That's Technophile.
We make it a point to bring you news you can use, like the latest information on audio gadgets. But who says information has to be useful? What about useless facts that are useful only to show how much you know? In this week's Nothing But Net, a website filled with useless but critical information. It's everything you never want to know. Can fish drown? Yes. How do you make a cultured pearl? Irritate an oyster? You get all this and more at uselessknowledge.com, a trivia website that's as vast as it is entertaining.
One of the best things about it is, if you want the answer to a trivia question, you can post it in one of their discussion boards. It's a great thing to do when you're supposed to be doing something else.
Joe Edelman, a Pennsylvania-based web designer and trivia buff, started the site with his 16-year-old son.
I asked him if he knew what Rod Stewart did before he was a rock star. And the answer, of course, is that Rod Stewart was a gravedigger. My son looked at me with a very blank stare, and he says, "Dad, you are an absolute master of useless knowledge." We both looked at each other and said, that would be a great name for a website.
Useless Knowledge has about 10,000 factoids and is updated daily. There are amusing and surprisingly difficult quizzes, and something called the Sound Check Challenge.
It's a snippet from either a television show or a song or a quote from a movie, and they simply take a guess at what they think it is.
I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got.
That, of course, Nicolas Cage from Raising Arizona. Just a year old, Useless Knowledge averages 275,000 hits a month. You'll find it at uselessknowledge.com. And that's this week's Nothing But Net.
Up next on the dot, it's IDG's Nerd Word. This week, angels. Hey, after all, it is the holidays. But what does the heavenly host have to do with cyberspace? The answer when CNN.com returns.
Spell it out for you?
It's
HB.
Oh, boy, you.
Feel better? It's so far from TV. It's HB.
All right, yeah. Learn it. Live it. Love it. It is what it is.
Well, what is it then?
Don't
don't make me state the obvious.
Bad, filthy American fun.
It's HB.
Oh my God. I think that's great.
Now back to CNN.com.
And now, Nerd Word. This week's digital definition, angels. No, they're not the Hark the Herald kind, and they're not the ones who work for Charlie. Angels in Silicon Valley are people who invest in fledgling hardware or software companies. For example, a venture capitalist like Masayoshi Son was the angel who helped get E-Trade and Yahoo off the ground. But if you want to know more about angels of the heavenly persuasion, the answer is just a click away. There are scores of cyber sites devoted just to angels. AboutAngels.com, AngelAccess.com, even AngelicInspirations.com, which gives a techno twist to the age-old question, how many angel sites can dance on the head of a microchip? We'll be right back.
From processing stock trades in the financial world to selling hits in the music world, from sharing information in government operations to medical operations, from the manufacturing of products to the interaction of products, from tracking packages to tracking spending. At Sun, our technologies power the net for business. We're the dot in .com. What can we .com for you?
And now, a simple question for everyone who isn't a millionaire quite yet.
Okay.
Where should you look on the web to get total internet service absolutely free?
Oh, I know this one. It's freei.net.
Total internet service?
Yeah.
Absolutely free?
Yeah, it's freei.net.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
freei.net.
Definitely, freei.net.
Want to phone a friend?
That gleaming new computer is unwrapped and you can't wait to start to play. The only trouble, where do all those wires go? If, like us, you don't have the time or the patience to read the instruction manual, we have a little cheat sheet for you. Mary Kathleen Flynn has these tools to help you put your PC together.
Now, it used to be the case that setting up a PC was pretty tricky, but these days it's getting a lot easier. At least so says Rob Ferry, who is a general manager of the Norwalk, Connecticut Gateway Country Store. Here we go. Here's the box. I love this because they even have a diagram that tells you how to get it out of the box.
Yes. First thing is the keyboard, mouse, power cord, telephone line connection.
Some software?
Licensed software.
Oh, and documentation for the software?
And documentation for the software.
That looks pretty straightforward so far.
It is.
Now let's get the PC.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to let you do this, the heavy lifting.
All righty. Take the packing off just like the diagram on the inside flap of the box showed us.
Okay. Get rid of that plastic.
Get rid of the plastic.
Here's the keyboard.
And the keyboard is a USB connection, universal serial bus, okay? And that will connect right here on the side.
Hey, you know, I see there are two slots here, though. How do I know which one to put it in?
Either one.
Either one?
Either
Why
one
are there
will
two?
work. All the other one is for the printer, a joystick or any other
Scanner.
kind of scanner.
Does it matter which one I plug the keyboard into, the top one or the bottom one?
No, ma'am. It does not matter, and there's also two more on the back of the machine.
All right, how about the mouse? Let's plug that in.
Okay, in the back of the keyboard is another USB port. That is where the mouse would connect.
And there is indeed a little picture of the mouse on there.
That connects.
All right, that's nice.
Next, we've got to get some power running to
Good
the
idea.
machine.
And luckily, it's the only outlet that looks like it would fit that plug.
Right.
That's always handy.
That's right. And then
Great.
we'll run it to a surge suppressor.
And that's just a standard surge suppressor that we had here, right?
That's correct. In your home, you'd want to include modem protection on any surge.
And that means that it would have the modem jack built right into the surge protector?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
And,
looks like we're ready to go, are
and
we?
I think we are.
Moving on to a more complicated system, Rob. This looks complicated. Look, it's got 2 boxes instead of 1.
That's correct. This is a Performance 500, our most popular offering. It's a Pentium 3 chip and
Powerful machine.
Powerful machine.
All right, now we see this may take a few minutes.
It seems complicated, but it's really not too bad.
So far, this looks like a lot of the same stuff we saw before,
But this is not.
The CPU.
Get it set up. We have a keyboard right here.
All right, I'll grab the mouse.
Purple to purple and orange to orange, and we'll have those 2 devices connected. And then the final cord that we'll connect right now is the power cord.
Next step, the monitor.
Yes.
This is a big one you've brought me, isn't it?
Yes, it's a 17-inch monitor.
Well, I recommend the bigger monitors. They're much kinder to your eyes.
They're much
and in the long
kinder.
run, that's important.
We're going to connect the connection from the monitor to the back of the
For those of
CPU
you with black and
unit.
white sets, it's blue.
It's blue, and we'll just find our way to the blue connection there, tighten it up a little bit, and the monitor is connected.
All right, we've got the computer plugged in, we've got the monitor plugged in. There's something else, though, isn't there?
Yes, speakers. These are Boston Acoustic speakers with a subwoofer.
And what does a subwoofer add to the sound equation?
What it does is it adds dimension and depth. It'll take your favorite DVD movies and bring that theater-like sound right into the home. On the back of the speaker, you can see that, like the CPU unit, it's blue to blue, black to black, and then purple to purple. The speakers are hooked up to the subwoofer. The subwoofer then connects to the CPU unit and into green to green.
Got to remember our color system.
Connect this to the green socket. It's green to green. And you're off to the races.
Okay.
Now we're ready to turn it on, and if you would like to do the honors.
I'm going to turn it on.
There you go.
And now we wait. Microsoft
There's Windows
working?
98. And
Great.
you're off. You're ready to go.
For more high-tech how-to help, dig into the Dummies series, published by IDG Books, or check out the website at www.dummies.com. CNN.com's Tools is brought to you by Computer Associates, software that can think.
Can a computer think? Can it learn? Can software be developed that acts exactly like the human brain? For 50 years, that's been the question. Today, Nugents are the answer. Using a patented breakthrough in neural network technology, Computer Associates has created the first software that can think. Imagine what this new software can do for your business. Nugents, software that can think.
Few cold ones, a big Mr. Fix has got to start showing off.
Yeah, he'll woo the women with his grouting expertise.
Staying in control doesn't mean staying away from fun. Coors NA is ice-cold Rocky Mountain refreshment without all the alcohol. Serve great tasting Coors NA so guests can get home safely. It's perfect for designated drivers and limbo dancers.
Hey, Bob, how about some pointers? There are some things even Bob Vila can't fix.
Now back with Perry Peltz.
Welcome back. Usually at this time, we turn to some of the sharpest minds on the cutting edge of technology and ask just one question. But this week, since we have one of the ultimate cyber savants, we decided to ask more than just one question. He's Intel chairman Andy Grove. Grove was named Time Man of the Year in 1997, well before this year's cover boy, Amazon.com's Jeff Bezos. James Hattori sat down with the microchip king to ask, among other things, if there's any limit to how tiny you can make the components that drive a computer.
Well, ultimately, there's going to be a physical limit about how small you can make the structures, but we're not going to reach those physical limits until the second decade of the next century. And when those physical limits are going to be reached, I think engineering creativity is going to kick in and find ways of working within the boundaries of that physical limit, yet increase the density. For instance, build electronic functions vertically rather than horizontally. That could be a possibility. I'm not suggesting that's the answer, but that's a feasible answer. Sort of like skyscrapers are an answer to rising real estate costs.
How far along the internet revolution are we, in your estimation?
You know, I'll give you a kind of a back-of-the-envelope calculation that we've done recently, which we counted up how many server computers, which is a kind of a measure of the size of the internet, are in service today, and how many of them will be in service 5 years from now. And only 5% of the servers that we think are going to be in use 5 years from now are in use today. So there's going to be a 20-fold expansion in that aspect of the infrastructure.
And that's just hardware?
They're just hardware.
What
so
about
we're at very early stages.
We'd love to hear from you in the new millennium. Here's our address, the.at.cnn.com. Next week at this time, CNN's coverage of Millennium 2000. 60 correspondents reporting from more than 30 different countries. We'll be back the week after. Thanks so much for watching. For all of us here at The Dot, I'm Perry Peltz. Happy holidays. We hope to see you again next century.
Beginning in 6 days, 100 hours of non-stop around-the-world coverage. Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
There's no thrill like discovery. The Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Sponsored in your community by West Coast Bank.
This country was built with hard work and good tools. Today, the Harbor Freight Catalog offers quality name brand tools at the lowest prices from the convenience of your home. Log on now for a free catalog. Power and hand tools, automotive and shop equipment, air tools and compressors, metalworking and woodworking, all from our free Harbor Freight Catalog. For your free catalog, log on to harborfreight.com. That's harborfreight.com.
What will the credit card of the future look like?
The future?
Think of the possibilities.
The world's changing.
We'll need a card that can change with it.
What will a credit card look like that has an introductory rate of 0% and then a fixed rate as low as 9.99%?
Definitely not like anything in my wallet.
That has no annual fee and gives you the flexibility to pay over time.
So, I'll be able to extend the payments on my new lunar vacation?
What will a credit card look like that provides guaranteed protection from online fraud?
I don't know.
But I think it has my name on it.
A card with a built-in smart chip to give it ever-evolving capabilities.
A credit card?
With a brain?
That makes other credit cards seem so...
20th century.
Actually, it'll look like this. Introducing Blue from American Express, a whole new kind of credit card.
We really do live in an interesting time.
To apply, call 1-800-BLUE-600.
I have seen the future.
And it fits in my wallet.
CNN Today with Lou Waters and Natalie Allen. Weekdays on CNN.
Before it began, there were fears of terror, but there were sounds of peace in Bethlehem. And what the holiday season is really about, giving. We'll look at volunteerism and America. And
Golda and Gilmore Reynolds, who lived their whole lives in this humble house here in tiny Osgood, Indiana, had $23 million. When they died, they left it all to their town.
Jeff Locke talks about a gift for a whole town. Hello, I'm Gene Randall in Washington. The sights and sounds of Christmas around the world are just ahead, but first the latest on the hijacking drama now at its second day. The Indian Airlines passenger jet commandeered in Nepal yesterday is on a runway in Kandahar, Afghanistan. About 150 people are on board. Taliban leaders in Afghanistan say the hijackers are asking for political asylum. 26 passengers and the body of a passenger who was stabbed to death were allowed off the plane last night, a landing in the United Arab Emirates. Earlier, the plane had landed in Pakistan and in India. The hijackers are demanding the release of an Islamic cleric and a number of Kashmiri separatist fighters, all believed to be jailed in India. CNN's New Delhi Bureau Chief Satinder Bindra joins us on the phone with more details.
Gene, I'm here at New Delhi's International Airport.
and 26 hostages released by the hijackers from the United Arab Emirates have just touched down here in New Delhi. What I can describe at the airport is a scene of complete chaos. The passengers touched down just about 10 or 15 minutes ago, and there's a lot of anger because anxious family members have been waiting for news for almost 2 days. And when these passengers touched down, the police security cordon, according to some family members here, was very dense. It was hard to break through it, and there was a lot of anger. There was a lot of confusion. Just a few moments ago, the Indian government has confirmed that it has, for the first time, received a written fax from the hijackers. This fax was given to air traffic control at the southern Afghanistan city of Kandahar, where the plane is at the moment. The plane has been refueled by Taliban authorities, but the hijackers, according to the Indian government, are now demanding the release of an Islamic cleric, Maulana Masood Azhar. He has been jailed by Indian authorities. The hijackers are also demanding the release of other Kashmiri separatists. They've been fighting India for an independent homeland for a few years now. So India has just confirmed it has received a first list of demands from the hijackers. The hijackers, according to Taliban authorities in Afghanistan, have also asked the UN to intervene. The UN has just told CNN it has not received any official word as of yet and is standing by. Gene?
Satinder, any initial reaction from Indian authorities on how they will greet this demand?
No official response yet, because the demand, according to Indian officials, has just been received. But earlier in the day, very strong words from Indian Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who just turned 75 today, and he said he would not celebrate his 75th birthday because he was suffering along with the rest of the other families whose loved ones are still on the plane. But he has said, and this is a direct quote, India will not bow to the terror tactics of the hijackers. So he has said that India will take a tough line, but India is facing certain problems because India does not recognize the Taliban regime in Afghanistan where the plane is now, and it's hard to negotiate a deal with the hijackers. So that seems to be the main stumbling block at the moment. Gene?
Satinder Bindra in New Delhi, thanks very much. The hijacking aside, this is generally a peaceful Christmas day. One reason may be increased security. In Bethlehem, Israeli and Palestinian forces are guarding against the threat of terror, and the mood there is said to be relaxed and joyous, as CNN's Walt Rogers reports for us.
The bells rang out on Christmas Day in Bethlehem. 2,000 years later, the faithful still come to worship Jesus Christ in the town of his birth. Many of the faithful visibly moved by a spirit of rejoicing this millennial Christmas. In this church, Christmas masses were continuous, standing room only for prayers and hymns. Outside all day, long queues of pilgrims and tourists waiting to see the traditional site of Jesus' birth in the Church of the Nativity. The much larger Crusader-era door blocked up in the 16th century to protect Christians from then hostile Muslim marauders. Inside the grotto, a limestone cave thought to be the original manger. Like the Magi of old, pilgrims came to pay homage, and some found what they came for.
I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and this is the best place to be.
Others found the crowds and crush overwhelming.
It was so crowded, I don't think you can really sit to maybe do a little bit of meditation, or there is no space for spirituality.
A cacophony of sounds filled Manger Square Christmas Day, from this Yuletide concert of bells to this. Afternoon prayers at a mosque across Manger Square. The muazzim's cry of Allah Akbar mingling with the Christmas bells. Bethlehem's first Christmas baby was born to a Muslim family, and in the ecumenical spirit that has dominated this millennial Christmas here, the Muslim parents named their son Jesus. The security fears which haunted so many this holiday weekend went almost unnoticed here. Tourists found Jesus' birthplace, perhaps the safest corner of the Middle East.
Maybe it's like the YK2. Nothing happens. Everybody fears and nothing happens.
Still, for those who trust their fate to more than chance, perhaps it was a confidence inspired by their faith in the Prince of Peace that afforded this place a special serenity this Christmas. Walter Rogers, CNN, Bethlehem.
Vatican Pope John Paul II delivered a Christmas message of peace and goodwill. He read out greetings in 60 languages. CNN's Gail Young has more from Vatican City.
At times, Pope John Paul II seemed overcome by the enthusiastic cheers of the faithful in St. Peter's Square.
Feliz Navidad.
Thousands of Catholics and tourists gathered in front of the recently restored basilica to hear his traditional Christmas Day message. The Pope welcomed the start of the Holy Jubilee year, which will mark the 2000th anniversary of the birth of Jesus. He spoke of spiritualism and pragmatism, arguing for a ban on weapons, which he says are destroying lives and continents. It is a busier than usual Christmas for the ailing pontiff. On Christmas Eve, he opened special bronze doors in St. Peter's that are only opened on Jubilee years, and then said midnight Mass. He'll open 4 such Jubilee doors throughout Rome during the coming weeks. The ceremonies have been slightly modified to make them less strenuous, but the Jubilee year may well be exhausting. Some 30 million Catholic pilgrims are expected in Rome during the next 12 months, and the Pope is scheduled to make a historic trip to the Holy Land. It will be perhaps a test of his physical strength. No one seems to doubt the strength of his spirit. Gail Young, CNN, Vatican City.
On the other side of the world, Christians in East Timor celebrated their first Christmas after nearly a quarter-century of Indonesian rule, and before that, 4 centuries as a Portuguese colony. At the cathedral in Dili, the capital, midnight Mass was said by Nobel Peace Prize winner Bishop Carlos Bilo. More than 1,000 people packed into the courtyard of the bishop's residence. In September, largely Catholic East Timor was engulfed in violence after an independence vote in August. We'll be right back.
Body and blood of Jesus Christ, your only Son, our Lord. The day before he suffered, he took bread in his sacred hands, and looking up to heaven, to you, his almighty Father, he gave you thanks.
Honey, there's not much time left. Are we ready for the baby? You know, financially.
Well, I wanted it to be a surprise, but I've been planning.
Tell me.
Listen, 7, 9, 15, 21. You see where I'm going?
No.
The lottery. I'm a lucky guy.
Lucky? I'm due in 4 weeks.
Hey, that gives us 4 more chances to win.
Don't be caught unprepared. Ask your financial advisor about the funds of Alliance Capital, the investment professional's choice. Do it now, because later is sooner than you think.
Oh, Mom, it's great. My first apartment. You should see it. It's huge.
When you've got things to talk about, it's a good idea to dial 10-10-321 first.
And I got a great view of the river.
With 10-10-321, you get 50% off calls over 10 minutes. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night, and no monthly fees. And then 50% off. You can share every last detail.
And I even have a garden.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
Thought I'd let my friends here help demonstrate a few key points of the Subaru Forester. Go ahead, boys. First, there's the added traction of full-time all-wheel drive. Better cornering than a Lexus RX 300. And did I mention it got the highest rating in its class in recent crash tests?
That's gotta hurt.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
When the Bryant family needed a fresh financial start, they called Superior Bank at 1-888-678-7777.
We saved money, we cut our payments, and lowered our interest rate.
All at the same time.
They got us the loan that fit our monthly budget.
Now we have a lot more for the kids every month.
My family's in better financial shape thanks to Superior.
If you need a home loan, no matter what your credit or income situation, do what the Bryants did. Call Superior Direct at 1-888-678-7777.
The Christmas season, a time to celebrate, a time for family. But for some, discover some not-so-traditional ways people look for the holidays' true meaning as CNN's Tim Wall listens to Christmas Voices. Today, 2 Eastern on CNN.
Another rock cake! Mommy, it's another rock cake!
More than 75,000 homeless New Yorkers got warm winter coats today, compliments of the New York Cares Coat Drive at the City Rescue Mission. All week, volunteers collected and distributed the coats to organizations that serve the needy. On another note, President Clinton today announced nearly a $1 billion grant to help almost 250,000 homeless people obtain housing and social services. He called it a Christmas gift we can all be proud of. Volunteering, according to the Points of Light Foundation, has increased significantly over the past decade in this country. Points of Light has a network of more than 400 volunteer centers across the United States to bring business, government, and civic groups together to find solutions to local problems. It reports that an estimated 109 million adults, 18 and up, volunteered last year. Those volunteers gave an average of 3.5 hours a week, with their combined efforts worth $225 billion. Robert Goodwin is president of the Points of Light Foundation. We wish you the best for the holidays, and thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Gene.
How does this country do when it comes to volunteering? Put some flesh on these numbers.
We lead the world, clearly, in the spirit of volunteering and have throughout most of our tradition. Over 50% of the American population call themselves volunteers, and many of them are quite serious about it.
What's the greatest need today in this country when it comes to volunteerism?
We believe that most of the serious social problems facing our nation are caused by people living in isolation from one another, what some sociologists would refer to as disconnection. And so anything that can be done that brings people into closer contact and thus provides meaning both for the people who receive the services and people who provide the services is helping to build the social bonds in the country. So the greatest need is forging connections between people who are living in some marginalized way.
We keep hearing reports of this booming economy that we have, and yet we know there are people in need in this country in great numbers. What has the economy done to both sides of that equation toward urging people to volunteer and toward getting help to those who need it?
I think obviously when people are enjoying varying degrees of prosperity, they are more inclined to wonder how they can spread that benefit to others. And so it may have contributed, the economy, as strong as it is today, may have contributed in some way to the increase in the statistics of the number of people who are volunteering. About 15% more are doing so today than just 10 years ago. But obviously we all know that the gap between the haves and have-nots is getting wider, and therefore there is an increased need to ensure that people who are at the bottom of that economic rung and who need more and more social services can receive them, particularly through the care of other individuals.
Mr. Goodwin, is it easy to volunteer?
No, it's not easy. It's easy to carve out the time. Most people say that they can't volunteer because they don't have the time. We have strategies that we think that can address that. It's probably far easier to find the time once you make the commitment to do so. But maintaining the kind of caring concern of the individuals who receive that support takes effort. We think there are great rewards to it, but I'm not going to say that it is so easy that anyone should do it without thinking about the cost of their own involvement.
Give us, if you will, on this Christmas Day, the most compelling argument you can for why Americans should volunteer.
We know that volunteering and service benefits at least three parties. The person who gets the service, and whether that is a young person who is able to improve their reading skills because a tutor or mentor has worked with them, or whether it is the person who is providing the service, who feels better about their own meaning to life because they are sharing with others. And then the community benefits. The 19th century social observer from France, de Tocqueville, said that through volunteering and service that feelings are recruited and the heart is enlarged. So people feel better as a consequence of their own giving. But more than that, people who get the services feel connected to the community.
The spirit of giving is valid the whole year through, isn't it?
It is indeed, and we hope that those who will find something to do this holiday season will find something to do throughout the year long.
Mr. Goodwin, thanks very much. All the best for the new year.
Thank you, Gene. You as well.
Still on the subject of volunteering here in Washington, volunteers have been busy at the Washington Home, a long-term care facility for frail or chronically ill adults. They place festive decorations in the home, and today they return to serve Christmas dinner. On this Christmas Day, there is a needy group that doesn't get much attention from people, the community of aging religious, those who spend their lives serving others. Kathleen Koch reports on the graying of one such group.
Remember our brothers and sisters when
They worship now not in pews but wheelchairs. Their hands, long devoted to the care of others, have become wrinkled and frail. Half of the 73,000 nuns and a third of the 18,000 Roman Catholic priests and brothers in the United States are over 70. The ranks of their traditional caregivers, younger clergy, have dwindled. So for the first time, religious communities, many self-supporting, are faced with paying for long-term care and retirement and are $6.8 billion short.
After years of service, they face the future without adequate funding for their old age. They need your help.
So there are fundraising campaigns. Some orders are pooling resources.
We're noticing more of that today, collaboration with other communities, so that together we can take care of the health care needs of a number of communities. So that's a positive step, I see.
Others face difficult choices.
They have looked into selling property. They have looked into better management of their funds.
Funds that can be meager, since many nuns took vows of poverty and worked in exchange for food, clothing, or shelter. That is beginning to change.
There's a recognition that there's an obligation to pay a living wage even to sisters. That's never seen as a need before. There were enough of them taking care of one another that it didn't matter. Now it matters.
The monks at Berryville, Virginia's Holy Cross Abbey got a charity grant to install an elevator. Still, they worry about the future.
One really wonders if there'll be a community around when I am in my old age, or if there are, what kind of care they will be able to provide.
Yearly church collections for the retired clergy have raised more than $286 million since 1988. At that rate, some predict the shortfall will evaporate in 8 years.
To serve him with one accord.
Others put their faith elsewhere.
But I'm trusting in the Lord. I think we'll be taken care of very well, in fact.
Kathleen Koch for CNN, Washington.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Office Depot, taking care of business.
Honey, there's not much time left. Are we ready for the baby? You know, financially.
Well, I wanted it to be a surprise, but I've been planning.
Tell me.
Listen, 7, 9, 15, 21. You see where I'm going?
No.
The lottery. I'm a lucky guy.
Lucky? I'm due in 4 weeks.
Hey, that gives us 4 more chances to win.
Don't be caught unprepared. Ask your financial advisor about the funds of Alliance Capital, the investment professional's choice. Do it now, because later is sooner than you think.
Oh, I gotta spell it out for you?
It's HB.
Oh, poor you.
Feel better? It's so far from TV, it's HB.
All right, yeah.
Learn it, live it, love it.
It is what it is.
Well, what is it then?
Don't make me state the obvious.
Bad, filthy American fun.
It's HB.
Oh my God. I think that's great.
The Space Shuttle Discovery and its 7 astronauts are spending Christmas Day in Earth orbit. They have finished repairing the Hubble Space Telescope with yesterday's third of 3 spacewalks. The $3 billion Hubble is scheduled to go back into its own orbit later today. Discovery is due back on Earth Monday. Just past 8 tonight Eastern Time, the Discovery crew will be interviewed by CNN space correspondent Miles O'Brien. That's at 8:12 p.m. Here on Earth, holiday wish lists in the near future might include a new kind of car. CNN's Natalie Pavelski took a test drive in what automakers say could be a choice of the future.
For years, we've been wondering what cars of the future might be like.
In the real world, the answer was supposed to be electric cars, but they haven't caught on. Now a couple of major car companies are trying something different, hybrid cars, fueled by gas and electricity. You still fill up at the gas station, but as the car runs, it generates electricity that provides some of the power. These vehicles from Honda and Toyota get 70 miles per gallon of gas. One tank will take you 600 miles, and they are designed to run 90% cleaner than traditional cars.
We'd like to have some fun and do our part in driving a lower emission vehicle. First one to have the new toy on the block.
Toyota, which has already sold 30,000 of its gas-electric hybrid Prius cars in Japan, is hoping to get Americans interested. It has picked families across North America to serve as test drivers.
We get to have the cars for a month and drive them around as we would on a normal day, doing our normal routines, and we're supposed to evaluate them and get back to them in a month and tell them how we liked it.
GM, Ford, and other companies have been leasing and selling regular electric vehicles, the kind you plug in, for more than 2 years in the United States. But so far, they've only found takers for about 3,000 cars. Part of the problem, battery-powered electric vehicles have an average range of only about 75 miles. Not too practical in a world where commutes keep getting longer.
We're going to try to find the spot where ecology meets economy, where the needs to protect the environment also make good business sense.
With growing concern over pollution in sprawling cities such as Atlanta, Houston, and Los Angeles, hybrid vehicles may become kings of the road eventually.
If you carry things out in the long term, electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, fuel cell technology, that's all going to be very viable. Just like the internet is to the computer business, it's getting faster and faster.
Natalie Pavelski, CNN.
Son,
Yeah, Dad?
your mom and I want to retire, but, you know, we never saved any money. That's where you come in.
Huh?
What grade are you in now? Second? Third?
Third.
That's plenty of school. It's time you got a job.
But I can't multiply yet.
Well, I wouldn't let that slip out in an interview. Besides, you can read, right? Well, read this. The classifieds. Go get them, Tiger.
Don't be caught unprepared. Ask your financial advisor about the funds of Alliance Capital, the investment professional's choice. Do it now, because later is sooner than you think.
Around here, you can't buy a reputation for quality. You have to earn it, the way Wall did. Wall invented the first electric clipper 80 years ago, right here in America's heartland. And they're still the choice of millions of professionals worldwide. Today, Wall makes products for home, too. A whole line of clippers, trimmers, and shavers, all backed by the Wall family commitment to innovation and value. That's what being a leader is all about. Wall, bringing quality and value home.
In the insurance business, they say persistence pays off. The book's called Be Cool About Fire Safety. Last year, I passed out about 10,000 copies to kids in Albany County. One went to a little girl who saved her family when their house caught fire. This year, I'm passing out more books. 'Cause in this business, did I mention, persistence pays off. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
It is a white Christmas in some areas, and Jill Brown has that story. Jill?
Well, Jane, we do have a little bit of snow. Not much out there. This snow that we had in eastern Ohio is pretty much disappeared. Still have a little plume coming off Lake Erie into New York State. And we have some mountain snow here in New Mexico. But if nothing else, this will be remembered as a cold Christmas. We have chilly temperatures. Now, it's starting to warm up in the plains, and actually we should see above average temperatures through this afternoon and some better stuff to come. But where it's coldest, northeast, it gets worse from here. There are wind advisories in effect for this afternoon and tonight. Winds should begin to pick up. They're not too bad just yet, but as the winds pick up, colder air comes in, so we're probably going to be talking about wind chills by tomorrow morning as cold as 30 degrees below zero. Problem is we have a front that's just north of the border up here in Canada, and once that slides south, you'll see a real significant change. Today's highs, tomorrow's highs only in the teens, maybe single digits by the end of the day. Chances are, in a lot of places, the temperature will just gradually drop through the day. And again, there's our one spot that we have any real significant snow. Some snow advisories in effect for New Mexico and western Texas. You got to go a long way from here, Gene, to run into some Christmas snow. Back to you.
Thank you, Jill. It is a very Merry Christmas for people in Osgood, Indiana. Call it a case of fortune found. Here is CNN's Jeff Flock.
New storm sewers, a new community center, lights for the school athletic fields, a fancy heat-sensing camera for the fire department.
We could have never afforded anything like this.
And there's more where that came from.
Some people thought it was like maybe they had $1 million or $2 million.
Golda and Gilmore Reynolds, who lived their whole lives in this humble house here in tiny Osgood, Indiana, had $23 million. When they died, they left it all to their town.
Were you mad about it?
No.
They had no children. Phyllis Courtney was Golda's niece.
It's probably a good idea because there are a lot of nieces and nephews.
The $23 million, which is 3 times the assessed value of the entire town, is in a foundation. Nonprofit organizations can get grants. Only Osgooders need apply. Neil Comer's on the board.
It's not an answer to anything. It's just we see it as an opportunity for Osgood to have some good things done.
Like a lot of small towns, Osgood, Indiana looked very different in the 1930s from the way it does today. There are still some landmarks left, like the historic Dam Theater back there, but a lot of buildings have been torn down, and a lot of people have either died or moved on. The money means that unlike some small towns, Osgood will endure, probably even prosper.
This is a picture of Goldie's class taken at the Osgood Grade School.
How'd they get so rich? She was a teacher. Her first contract paid $3.20 a day in 1919. He was an adventurer who had pretty good business sense, enough to sell his propane company before natural gas came in the 1960s. That's when they took their money and started playing the stock market. And while travel was their one extravagance, they were always thrifty.
She says, Donna, Gilmore talked me into going first class on that cruise. And she said, I will tell you it wasn't worth it. Don't ever do it.
Why this extraordinary gift? I guess we'll never know. Golda and Gilmore were intensely private and gave orders that it not be made public until after their death. Neither they nor anyone else seems fazed by big money in this town.
Money don't excite me much.
Grants, however, have been requested for a new running track at the school, more fire equipment, and new water lines. All to be paid for by a couple who lived their whole lives here and have found a way to live on. I'm Jeff Flock, CNN in Osgood, Indiana.
After a break, we'll recap our top stories, and then Science and Technology Week looks to the heavens.
Today on Evans Novak Hunt and Shields, a look back at 1999 with humor columnist Art Buchwald from 5:30 Eastern on CNN.
News breaks like you wouldn't believe. A big story hits and we're all over it. Work the phones. Who can we get? OJ, Million Man March, Rabin assassination. Politics hits the road. International, book a satellite, whatever it takes. Sometimes we change the show 10 minutes before we're on the air because you never know what's going to happen. Never.
Brought to you by your local Jeep dealer, home of the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Begone, vile corruptors! I cast thee out! I am anointed to take up the serpent and drive away the infectious forces of evil!
Are you sure this is going to get rid of my computer viruses?
Want to wipe out viruses automatically? Woo! Go online to McAfee.com.
Sir, is this part of it?
100 hours of Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
Ahead on Science and Technology Week, a look at the Hubble repair mission, but first, some headlines. Hijackers who commandeered an Indian Airlines passenger jet are demanding the release of an Islamic cleric and some Kashmiri separatist fighters who were jailed in India. The plane, which was seized yesterday in Nepal, is sitting at the airport in Kandahar, Afghanistan, with about 150 people on board. 26 passengers who were released from the plane last night in the United Arab Emirates have arrived in New Delhi. The gunman also released the body of a male passenger who was stabbed to death. At the Vatican, Pope John Paul II today called for a ban on what he termed the senseless use of arms. His Christmas message was an appeal for peace, love, and tolerance. At a midnight mass in Bethlehem, a senior Roman Catholic official called for reconciliation among Muslims, Christians, and Jews. Meanwhile, Israeli and Palestinian forces guard the city against any threat of terrorism. I'm Gene Randall in Washington at 5 p.m. Eastern, This Week in Politics. Now Science and Technology Week.
An upgrade for the Hubble Space Telescope and why it matters. Con artists take advantage of Y2K fears. And a virtual air traffic tower could help make real airports safer. Those stories and more coming up on Science and Technology Week. Hello and welcome. I'm Ann Kellen. NASA says the Hubble Space Telescope is ready to get back to work after a round of repairs by spacewalking astronauts. Wednesday, Discovery astronauts John Grunsfeld and Stephen Smith took care of the most important task, replacing broken gyroscopes that have left the Hubble unable to make observations since mid-November. Other upgrades include a new computer. In case there's any doubt about whether the Hubble is worth it, astronomers say it has changed their world. Miles O'Brien reports.
Astronomers have never had it better. In the old days, they had to bundle up and scale a mountain to see something new and profound. Nowadays, the very edge of the universe drops onto their desktops.
Every time that we get new space telescope data in, it's exciting, because I think it's true that every image with space telescope that we have ever looked at has had surprises in it.
Most astronomers make their living gazing at stars. Jeff Hester likes to look at the stuff in between, using the 9.5-year-old Hubble Space Telescope as his instrument of choice, in this case to study nebulae, cloudy formations where the real stars are born.
It's the kind of thing that you'd expect to find described in a science fiction novel somewhere, except it's not science fiction. You know, this is the real deal.
Hester shares the photo credit for perhaps the most recognizable Hubble image, the Eagle Nebula. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, Hubble is writing an astronomical library. So far, 260,000 exposures have come down, telling us more about the age and size of the universe, proving there are black holes, showing us the surface of Pluto, how stars are born, and what happens when a comet strikes a planet.
We've taken photographs that go fainter than we ever thought. We've seen farther than we ever thought. We're discovering things we didn't anticipate. We're answering some questions we wanted to answer.
Those were the oft-stated promises when Hubble was launched into space nearly a decade ago. But the early and great expectations quickly evaporated when it became apparent the Space Telescope was fundamentally flawed.
Its mirror was imperfect, and Hubble was star-crossed until astronauts installed corrective optics during the first servicing mission in December of 1993. This Hubble service call, the third, won't be the last. At least 2 more are planned, with upgraded instruments on the way. NASA hopes to keep Hubble in operation for another decade. Astronomers like Jeff Hester can't say for sure what they will learn, but they know the farther they see, the closer to home they feel.
What we now realize is that, no, we are a part of the universe, that our existence is a result of processes that are still going on today, and processes that you can see going on around you.
It all amounts to a renaissance for astronomy and for a telescope whose name was once synonymous with failure.
For Science and Technology Week, I'm Miles O'Brien.
A rocket launched Monday night carried an unusual combination of payloads. It included a NASA satellite that will study how the sun affects climate change, and 36 capsules of cremated human remains. A Houston company arranges launches of remains from people who had a special fondness for space. The lipstick-sized capsules of ashes stay in a container, which is expected to orbit the Earth for about 45 years before it re-enters the atmosphere and burns up. This week's launch included cremated remains from China, Germany, Japan, and the United States. Still ahead, high school students turn a bright idea into technology that the Air Force wants to patent. And up next, a book that's really a hiding place. Looks like a great idea, but the experts say it could be part of a Y2K scam. We'll be right back with that.
Science and Technology is brought to you by MCI 5 cents every day, 5 cents a minute every evening, and all weekend long.
Hi, I'm Michael Jordan.
I'm Elmer Fudd.
Big news. America's going crazy for MCI 5 cents every day. Now it's 5 cents a minute every evening and all weekend long.
Now, a roving reporter. Let's find out how a typical American feels about MCI's 5 cents every day offer.
I'm speechless.
I'm soaked.
Now, Michael, so just call 1-800 every day to join.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Biggest story of the year, the century, the millennium. And who better to cover it than CNN? With 60 of its top correspondents in key locations around the world, CNN will usher in the new year live from every time zone on the planet, bringing you the global celebrations, reporting any and all Y2K events, examining the big issues that lie ahead. Millennium 2000, 100 hours of non-stop coverage beginning New Year's Eve on CNN.
Sunday on CNN Perspectives. They are the moments that will define our century. Flashes of time that will forever haunt us and give us hope. Now, hear the stories behind these famous shots, moments before the shutter clicked.
You daydream about making a picture that has the impact that those pictures have.
Moment of impact. Stories of the Pulitzer Prize photographs on CNN Perspectives. Sunday, 10 Eastern on CNN.
Just a few more days till we find out if the Y2K computer glitch will cause big problems or just minor aggravation. The experts say be wary of people trying to sell you year 2000 fixes you haven't asked for. You could wind up getting scammed out of a lot of money. Radio talk show host Clark Howard plays that sound when someone's been scammed. And according to the Better Business Bureau, thousands have fallen victim to those preying and profiting on Y2K fears. For Mary Ellen Quidla, the scam started with a phone call.
He posed as a Bell Atlantic employee saying that there was a 30% chance because of the Y2K that we would lose all of our phone lines.
The caller almost got her to change long-distance carriers until she got suspicious and the caller hung up. Some scammers try scaring people about Y2K to get their credit card or even worse, bank account numbers.
Call came through to my home and he said, I want to talk to you about your bank. Are you Y2K ready? I'm just fine. How are you doing?
Sarah Mobley works for a consumer hotline, knew she was being had, and hung up.
If you give a crook your checking account number, they can present an electronic or paper draft to your bank. The money's gone before you ever know it.
Another scam, telephone or door-to-door solicitors selling $50 Y2K survival kits for thousands of dollars.
Just recently, a fellow called to say that his mom had had $10,000 stolen from her buying a Y2K survival kit. Anybody who comes saying, we have the special Y2K kit for you, you send them packing.
Don't judge this book by its cover. This and other devices can be clever hiding places for cash, but if you pay for them by credit card or from door-to-door or phone salesman,
they will know who you are, where you live, and where your money is.
Are you afraid in the new year that certain checks won't be in the mail? Well, in this scam, a guy posing as a government official gets senior citizens' attention by saying their Social Security checks won't clear, and that all paper money will be worthless after the new year, to send the cash to him and he'll convert it to gold.
And of course, as you can imagine, there won't be any delivery of gold. This guy's going to take the money and run.
Save your cash. The Better Business Bureau offers a brochure and website, bbb.org, with information about these scams to prevent this from happening to you.
Hi, you're on the Clark Howard Show.
Should states that charge sales tax be able to collect it on internet purchases? A federal commission is due to make recommendations on that question in April. The commission met in San Francisco recently and heard arguments on all sides of that issue. Don Knapp reports.
Load a virtual shopping cart at Amazon.com, and the cyber cashier totals up your bill, adds shipping and handling, but skips the sales tax. You not only saved a trip to the mall, but in this case, you saved about $85 in sales tax as well. Mall merchants and others who sell their goods in actual stores of brick and mortar and do charge tax say that's unfair.
I can't see why they need a tax break. They're growing exceptionally well. We're excited about all the things going on the internet. Why should an industry like that need a tax break?
Not every web sale is tax-free. In theory, anyone not charged for a taxable item purchased over the internet is supposed to voluntarily pay a use fee to his or her state treasury. In practice, hardly anyone ever does. And web sellers are supposed to bill customers for sales tax if they have actual stores in states where internet customers buy.
It's a very cumbersome system. We have a much easier system with state income taxes. Maybe it would make a lot of sense to move more state tax revenue collection towards income tax and away from sales tax.
The federally appointed Electronic Commerce Commission is considering more than 36 taxation proposals before an April 2000 deadline.
The 37 proposals boil down to 3 main proposals. Don't tax the internet, don't inhibit its growth. Let's simplify the current sales tax system, which is a mess, and then make everyone collect sales tax to level the playing field. The third set of proposals say, let's let technology solve the problem. We'll develop some great software program that will do all of this automatically.
So far, there's not a lot of internet sales tax money at stake, only about $500 million. But with projections of astronomical growth in internet sales, decisions made today could have a huge effect in the next millennium. For Science and Technology Week, I'm Don Knapp.
Coming up, a new kind of Palm Pilot that could make air travel easier. We'll be right back.
Dot Commentary is brought to you by Sun Microsystems. We're the dot in .com.
Unleash power, sell more per hour, get business going, keep it growing, change ammunition, kill competition, unlock data, make profits fatter, take sharper aim, boost market gain, save more time, more peace of mind, forge better ties, economize, link devices without a crisis. Our technology is hot, we are the dot.
So, what is it?
It's Toshiba DVD.
Toshiba Digital makes home entertainment new all over again. See more, hear more, feel more with the world's first Color Stream Pro progressive scan DVD. Toshiba Digital, the power to bring people together again.
December 30th, the site for college football is the Superstation as the resurgent Illinois Fighting Illini clash with Thomas Jones and the Virginia Cavaliers. The MicronPC.com Bowl, December 30th at 7 Eastern, only on the Superstation.
Time-conscious travelers may soon be able to get up-to-the-second flight information without calling the airlines, checking their PC, or even looking at signs in the airport. New technology could put the answers right in the palm of your hand. Mary Flum explains.
Each day, more than 100,000 Americans experience flight delays, and an average of nearly 500 U.S. commercial flights are canceled. This according to the Department of Transportation records. For those who've grown weary of spending more time waiting for a plane than actually flying on one, now there's a possible solution.
It's literally the internet in your pocket. It's really going to benefit the frequent traveler who is on a tight schedule trying to go from one place to another, and they don't have the benefit of a lot of lead time between flights.
It is a handheld wireless system that allows flyers to access the latest available flight information, ranging from gate and departure time changes to seat assignment, aircraft, and even meal details.
You can see it updated actually on the device itself. and actually learn if you have an extra 30 minutes to get to the airport so you're not in a rush.
Travel Assist Palm Pilots are now being test marketed by Delta, American, and United Airlines. Delta is additionally experimenting with the technology on web-enabled cell phones. Travelers can get real-time updates from the comfort of an office or the back of a cab without having to make contact with an airline representative.
You got to raise the antenna first, and then
Frequent flyer Stuart Myler calls the new technology invaluable.
It's allowed me to check my flights, check the gate where I'm leaving from without having to pick up a phone. By the time I get to the airport, I already know where the flight is and when it's leaving.
Other travelers are equally keen to get in on the time-saving act.
Just showed up and our flight was canceled, so we got to wait a few hours for another one. If I had one of these, I wouldn't be standing here waiting for my next flight. That's 2 hours.
I think it'd be a great idea, especially if it's accurate information. Because if you try and call in and get the information, they don't necessarily tell you the truth.
The system, free to those possessing web-enabled Palm Pilots and cell phones, will be made available to the general public by early 2000. In the meantime, travelers can still turn to airline personnel and departure screens for flight information served up the old-fashioned way. For Science and Technology Week, I'm Mary Flum.
While you're dashing to the gate with your air travel Palm Pilot, airport planners are testing new ways to make ground and air traffic flow better. But they don't have to try them out in the fly. NASA and the FAA have teamed up to create a virtual control tower. Kim Hunter reports.
Radio 130012, runway 28 right, clear to land.
The typical hectic holiday crunch at San Francisco International Airport. Crowds of people and planes coming and going at a pace choreographed by air traffic controllers.
1544.
22 miles away, another set of controllers is also surveying the same airport. Not the real one, but a simulated version at a place called Future Flight Central, the world's first full-scale virtual control tower.
We thought, why not build a very high-fidelity airport simulation facility where we could test things in a safe setting, have a lot of control of the parameters, be able to measure the impact, all without impacting real operations.
The FAA and NASA Ames Research Center spent $10 million on this nondescript two-story facility that on the inside looks, feels, and operates just like the real thing. The purpose, not to train the controllers, but to test new technology, proposed airport improvements, or emergency plans. These planes are actually computer images projected on giant television screens.
Request permission to push back from gate 72.
They are fake pilots, but real air traffic controllers. Engineers orchestrate and monitor each test.
Within a few minutes, you're controlling aircraft just as if you were in a tower facility somewhere. It's so real.
We could recreate a runway incursion or an accident and allow analysis of that.
Previously, such testing was done on computer models. Retired controller Jim McClenahan says he wishes he had access to this technology during his 32 years on the job.
I don't know how many different programs that I was involved with that by the time we got it to the field, it was only about 50% usable.
Right now, Future Flight Central can only simulate San Francisco. Eventually, managers hope to test scenarios at all the nation's major airports. The ultimate goal, safer, quicker air travel. Kim Hunter for CNN San Francisco.
Coming up, the Air Force looks at a new idea for satellite design dreamed up by a team of high school students.
Unleash power, sell more per hour, get business going, keep it growing, change ammunition, kill competition, unlock data, make profits fatter, take sharper aim, boost market gain, save more time, more peace of mind, forge better ties, economize, link devices without a crisis. Our technology is hot, we are the dot.
Thanks. Now for my favorite song.
A few cold ones and Big Mr. Fix-It thinks he's a crooner.
This old house is getting shaky. This old house is getting old.
Staying in control doesn't mean staying away from fun. Coors NA is ice-cold Rocky Mountain refreshment without all the alcohol. Serve great tasting Coors NA so guests can get home safely. It's perfect for designated drivers and karaoke singers.
And now for a timeless ballad about power tools.
Hi, I'm Michael Jordan.
I'm Elmer Fudd.
Big news. America's going crazy for MCI 5 cents every day. Now it's 5 cents a minute every evening and all weekend long.
Now, a roving reporter. Let's find out how a typical American feels about MCI's 5 cents every day offer.
I'm speechless.
I'm soaked.
Now, Michael, so just call 1-800 every day to join.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
The Christmas season, a time to celebrate, a time for family. But for some, discover some not-so-traditional ways people look for the holida's true meaning as CNN's Tim Wall listens to Christmas Voices. Today, 2 Eastern on CNN.
Find out why love is the most dangerous thing on the brutal frontier.
I cannot live with a man who finds it so easy to kill.
Bill Pullman and Diane Lane, The Virginian. See the world premiere Sunday, January 9th at 8 on TNT.
The U.S. Air Force is working to secure a patent on a new piece of technology that could be used on satellites and spacecraft. But this new invention didn't come from the aerospace industry. It came from a group of teenagers. Allard Butel has the story.
The U.S. Space Command says there are about 600 operating satellites orbiting the Earth, and that number grows almost weekly. Most have sensitive equipment inside that sometimes needs to be covered up for meteors and extreme heat and cold. But doors are prone to jamming in the harsh environment of space. So a group of high school students working with a mentoring program through the Air Force Research Laboratory in Albuquerque, New Mexico, came up with a solution, an electromagnetically operated door.
This will be able to protect equipment from rays, making satellites last longer, making satellites cheaper.
The students worked with 2 Air Force mentors and a faculty sponsor during the 1997-98 academic year, meeting about once a week after school.
Most people who know satellites say you don't have moving parts on the satellite. And we said, well, we need this, we have this problem. Go solve it.
We also helped them through a literature search to make sure there wasn't anything else out there that was the same.
In the end, they had designed and built a prototype door that opens and closes using magnets.
What we have on the bottom are magnets, and we have a strip of magnets here. Magnets attract when you hold them one way, but if you hold them the other way, they push against each other. So if you have a strip of magnets, you could make something actually float. And that will make it so it doesn't get caught in space.
There would be like a little opening right here where an instrument would be behind the door, and it would function pretty much just like a glass sliding door.
Typically, an experiment like this would be done by seniors in college and graduate students, not by a high school student in the 11th grade.
The Air Force Research Lab was so impressed, it applied for a government patent on the design. That makes the students eligible for royalties if the idea is used on satellites.
It's a good enough design. I just don't, wouldn't expect our design to be the one that was picked.
The students admit their design is simple, and they're not sure why someone hasn't come up with this idea before.
So maybe their lack of expertise about satellites actually helped them because they didn't know what a satellite door was supposed to look like. So they didn't have any preconceived notions about what they could and couldn't do.
Well, we didn't have any technical stuff telling us no. All we had was guess and go for it.
The research lab says while the patent process moves forward, the next step is to use the door on an experimental Air Force or NASA satellite. For Science and Technology Week, I'm Allard Butel.
Way to go. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ann Kellen. Next week, our show will be preempted by CNN's Millennium coverage. But we'll be back in the year 2000 with more Science and Technology Week. We'll see you then.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wiles of communications.
Merry Christmas. I'm Jill Brown in the CNN Weather Center. You may have thought it was cold today, but wait until tomorrow, especially if you live here in the Great Lakes. This next front coming in will usher in some Arctic air, pick up the winds. Wind chills could be as cold as 30 degrees below zero by Sunday morning. So you can see it's well north of the border, this evening, but that changes in a big hurry. We get a rush of cold air, some gusty winds, and also some snow sliding through here. Probably not heavy snow, but a few inches. We'll get the lake effect going again through Sunday and even into Monday as that pushes into the northeast. And by the way, that's not the last in the list. We have more storm systems sort of following a similar path, while the west coast through the Rockies should be very quiet, and the southeast still a chill in the air for the next few days with a gradual return to milder temperatures, but not till about Wednesday or Thursday. So the east is cool, west fairly mild actually, and the temperatures don't change a whole lot through Tuesday. By Wednesday, you can see they're moderating somewhat. We'll see 70s return to Texas and the southwest, but still waiting for some 70s back in the picture in Florida, maybe Thursday or Friday. Snow showers just about every day in the exact same spot. So the Great Lakes into the northeast, that's where the action will be in the coming week. That's where it will be coldest. That's where we'll have the snow showers. And across much of the rest of the country, looks like very quiet weather coming up. Stick around. Christmas Voices is coming up next on CNN.
Tonight, on the Emmy Award-winning Larry King Live, we'll have a millennium's worth of guests throughout December. Tonight, Larry's special guest is Stephen Hawking. It's a Millennium Month of guests, tonight 9 Eastern and all month, only on CNN.
Sunday. I'm a knight on a special quest.
Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams.
You're out of your friggin' mind!
The Superstation premiere, The Fisher King, 8 Eastern, Sunday night, only on the Superstation.
Beginning in 6 days, 100 hours of non-stop around-the-world coverage. Millennium 2000, only on CNN.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was hosting my first big business dinner, and I paid with my Visa card. Turns out I was over my limit. I was so embarrassed, I didn't know what to do. So I got the American Express card, and it never happened again.
Call 1-800-THE-CARD. We can take your application right over the phone.
Applying for the card was one of the easiest things I've ever done, and smartest. And anyone who's ever gone anywhere